I'm very jealous of y'all. This is something I have to get on the bandwagon. I need to set up my green screen also. I don't want to be the odd one, the oddball out going into 2024. That's not fair. I
Are
want
you?
nice background behind me too. Oh man.
We'll do some training next year and everybody's gonna be hooked up the right way. So don't worry. We got you. We got you covered. We got you.
Actually, now here's the kicker. You ready for this? I actually have the PVC, the screen, the whole setup, but I hadn't set it up yet.
Oh, okay. Your crisis of management of time. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, guys. Good evening, and we're live on YouTube. The Class of Steel. This is our final session for the year, and everybody's wrapping up all of their final things. So we're just going to give everybody a chance to get signed up, registered, logged in, checked in, all that good stuff, and we'll be with you. But this evening we have representation from Botswana Grandmaster, our Chief of Security and Logistics for the Class of Steel. And we have Dr. Sade James, the one who gives the Class of Steel the best fragrance. So Dr. Sade James is hailing out of South Africa. So we just kind of chilling and waiting for everybody. We just early, folks. That's all it is. So get your cup of tea and get yourself comfortable and get ready for a ride into 2020. Well, no, let's do it this way. Get ready for a ride out of 2023. I think I'm ready to get out of 2023.
Correct.
And yeah, what do you think,
It's
Pastor?
fun, as does every year. But hey, we made it. We're here. We're able to talk about it. So definitely, soon as a bit more log into us, we'll take the time to do kind of a year-end review. So, Dr. James, I'm gonna call you Dr. James because I'm having problems with that first name. I want to say Sade so bad, so
Please do,
badly.
because that's how you pronounce it, like the
Is it?
singer. Yes,
Wow.
the
So
sweetest type of.
autographs are in session. They're coming. Autographs are in order.
Yep.
Sade. Okay. You're the second one that I knew with a name like
Okay.
that. There
Yeah,
she
I've,
is.
I've only met one other Sade, but not spelled the same.
Ah, let's see. I'm trying to think on my side of the world. Well, I can't say it's my side of the world anymore. From the States, that would be Sadie.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that would Miss Jael. I see she's logging in. Like I said, Your Excellency, if you can hear me, I was telling Dr. James before you bugged out there. She was having some issues, may have issues because of connectivity. There's a bad storm there. Miss Jael, are you there? Hello, might take a minute. Jael, hello. Again, there's a storm in her area,
Mm.
and connectivity may be challenged. So she might have um, video, but no audio.
Oh,
So she can always send us a chat. Let us know if she can hear us or not, or ask questions or what have you. But anyway, if you're there, welcome. Welcome. Glad you could tune in with us on this Saturday. As
Yeah,
His Excellency The last one in the year. That's scary, man.
Grand finale, man. I think we got
Ooh, I'm getting the goosies, man.
grand
That's
finale.
the grand finale.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
There she is. Oh, please excuse me if you hear rustling in the background. I have Jack Russells on this side. So if you ever see me leaning down and this shoulder is doing a number here or the other one's on there, they want attention off camera. So I'm petting it
What
so
are
it doesn't get Jack Russells. Yeah,
what are their names?
one is Rocky and the other one is Daisy.
Oh, that's the cute.
Yeah, you can hear them out in the yard now. Okay, cool. You can hear us all. So,
I'm just setting up the links and the posts so that everybody has access to them. So the YouTube one, the Class of Steve group, and everything like that. You know how that goes. Just setting it all up. First Lady's not with us here today, so that's why I'm now struggling to put all those little details together. When First Lady was in the back.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm speaking over you.
That what very First Lady is here. I'm the one normally saying, "Okay, darling." She's the one that coordinates. You know, the program director.
Is it
We're
very
saying
cold
up in the UK.
uh-huh.
Yes, it's very cold. Hey, why do you think I have this on for decorations?
No, I can like
Yeah,
I'm digging this sweater, man. I love it. I love turtlenecks, and I love cold weather.
yeah, man.
Botswana gets pretty cold in the winters, am I right?
Yeah. How is it in South Africa?
Maybe
Where you at?
three,
Like
maybe 3 or 4 days. Because the same weather front that affects you guys, it depends on how far north is pushing. If it's coming up from Port Elizabeth and Cape Town area,
yeah.
sometimes it is us. If it's coming across from the Mozambique side,
Mhm.
sometimes it reaches. But if it's one of those Antarctic chills that just kind of blow up and skirts the western part of the Cape and then comes around towards Namibia into Botswana, yeah, it gets extremely cold,
Yeah.
extremely cold. But more often than not, it's not really cold winters here in Botswana.
Uh,
So
yeah.
it needs to be cold. Kill all the creatures, all those all those pesky pests and stuff eating up my garden out there.
All Dr. Steele's friends.
Talking about.
Yeah,
What you guys are talking about? Let me in. Don't leave.
we're getting hey, that's Dr. James, man. I'm stepping back. That's her poking fun.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I gotta leave you guys.
Oh man, you have to tell me a bit about your business offline too, Doctor. I'm very much interested.
Sure, no problem.
Well,
It's
unless
been
that's something you wanted to share here, but yeah, we'll talk offline.
sure.
Your Excellency, you upstage me, man. You got a nice haircut, and I have a fro. It's,
Man, you
it's
see, I show you the other side, man. Cause if I do a little bit of that, you're gonna see I ain't got no haircut.
you silly. I don't even like hair in my man. I prefer just a smooth, clean head.
That's it.
And
That's what.
if you when it's cut, and depend on if I've spent most of my days in the sunshine or summer or not, you can probably see these little indentations and perforations around
Yeah.
my head here and some scarring on the top. That's where I was training Kung Fu in China.
Shoot.
That's what your qualifications.
Yeah, that's one of my qualifications. I'm hard headed.
How many dots did you get?
How many what?
How many dots? How many dots did you get? How many have you
Oh,
got?
none. At the time, I didn't take my monastic vows, so it wasn't necessary.
I got the attempt of one dot, and I decided, you know what? Let's be honest with you. This ain't for black folks.
Oh, goodness.
Well, that was good.
Dr.
I,
J, what are
you
you
know,
trying to do with this one?
that one, that last one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That ain't for black folk, mate. I'll I'll take the training, but you can keep the accreditations.
Yeah, because depending on where you Uldan is a Taoist monastery, so it wasn't necessary. This portion of it came from the Shaolin training.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the way that they um, put the tattooing on your head can be a bit painful. It's permanent.
Guys,
And,
this is interesting.
it's it's properly done. Ah,
So I think you're saying it's interesting. I think we need. I think we're gonna get started in at half
yeah,
past. We're gonna get
it,
started fast, and those who are already on in the YouTube. A lot of the folks are kind of watching YouTube side. So that's one of the things that we have. But we're going to jump straight into it in a couple of minutes while others get logged on. As a matter of fact, the weather is quite bad too. The wind is high here. So people are getting blown in and out to try to connect.
mm,
Hopefully, 1 second, because I got a window that is kind of slamming as well. Just give me 1 second as well.
yes, sir. Audio.
Ah, all right. Let me just make a quick call. 1 second.
Yes, sir. I thought I saw our dear beloved Bishop Dr. Comfort, our mother, pop in for just a second. She might be
Yeah,
dealing with the same issues of connectivity too.
yeah. It's there's very bad weather that is kind of all around, and persons have been messaging trying to get in as well. Yeah. Yeah, persons are still trying to get logged in. Let me make a call.
Uh-oh, we have radio silence. That's not good. That's one of those no-nos you do in broadcasting. You can't have not maybe 15 seconds of radio silence before you cut to commercial or the radio presenter breaks in and apologizes for the radio silence, man. That's like sacrilege when you're broadcasting. Shame on us. Your Excellency, you making it over there?
I'm making it. Let's just the gentleman that is on the chat with us, could you kindly introduce yourself, please? I'm finding it difficult to pronounce your name, and I don't want to embarrass myself any further. Mabio, can you greet us and just tell us your name and the country you're from, please? Mabio, can you unmute yourself, please?
Tabelo Mapio.
Fabelo, Fapelo.
Yeah,
Actually,
Tapelo.
yeah, very good.
Oh,
Capello,
Good
Capello
evening.
Mapeo.
Fapelo.
So in his absence, if with your permission, Your Excellency,
There he is.
there he is.
Good evening.
Whoops, he went away.
Yeah, what's going on this evening? That's not normal, is it?
Sir,
All right.
if you can hear us, can you unmute, please?
Hi, I don't know if anyone can hear me.
We can hear you.
We can hear.
Great. Sorry, I was having connectivity issues. But to introduce myself, I'm Tapelo.
Hello.
Yes,
And you're joining us from which country?
from Botswana.
From Botswana. Okay, Shuang in your region. Okay. You're welcome. Jail, good evening. Jail, you're also quiet as well. Are you having challenges in South Africa as well? Okay. All right. So let's start this evening session. The time is 17:23, and we were going to wait for another 5 minutes at past this evening. And the reason for the delay in the sessions this evening is due to the weather. The weather is not really favorable in a number of regions, and persons are getting challenges to connect. But nevertheless, for those of you who are joining us live on the YouTube channel where you're seeing this broadcast, or for those who are on the Facebook communities and in the LinkedIn profiles, we want to welcome you to this evening session of the Class of Steele. It's our final evening for 2023. And this evening we are going to have Grandmaster Shu Wang Chung, who is going to go to share with us a little bit of what happened in the year and how the Class of Steele has been and what we are looking forward to, and encouraging you to consider being a part of us in 2024. And then after, I will be sharing a very, very interesting 2024 preparatory message. So without any further ado, I just want to equally welcome Dr. Sade James from South Africa, Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu, who is from the Ghana region and the Western African region, and Tapelo, who is also joining us from Botswana, Jail, South Africa, and those of you who are not being shown on the cameras, welcome to this evening's class. Grandmaster, over to you, my friend. Good evening, Grandmaster. And I think the weather as well.
Yes, the weather is favorable here. Thank you, Your Excellency. Welcome to everyone here tuning in. Now that protocol has been established. As you mentioned, sir, it is the last of our Class of Steele youth for 2023. And I'm a bit sad about it because it's the last one, but I shouldn't be so distraught because I know 2024 has a lot to offer and it's just around the corner. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Let's back up just a bit to 2022, when I believe was our last big formal class for the Class of Steele youth. And I think it was the latter half of the year, around August or September, if I'm not mistaken, where we had this amazing graduation ceremony. We had our presentation done. We finished a very aggressive, but a very fun-filled and information-filled year in 2022. And wow, we learned so much. I can't even go into it all here. So I'm going to suggest that those of you on our Facebook page and other mediums of live stream, YouTube, and what have you, by all means, go back and take a look at some of the previous Class of Steele youth that we've done to see the focus and the path that we've taken. We've talked about everything from business acumen to time management, to understanding time zones, when we speak to clients, to mentorship and how important that is, how important it is to be active parts and workable parts of the communities in which we reside. And the list just goes on and on and on. 2023, I must admit, was just a bit less because we had worn our poor mentor, our poor mentor and sponsor out. His Excellency, at the end of the year, he was like, "Wow, I've gotten through this." Not that he was tired of doing it, but it was just that there were so many people involved in it and so many questions and subject matters that needed to be covered, and it took a lot of time. Sometimes we even continued them from week to week. There were part two on a few of the topics and a few of the presentations that we've done. So suffice it to say, 2022 was amazing. 2023, we finally managed to get him off the couch. True story. He had kind of, and I say this lightheartedly, he had kind of semi-retired, quote unquote, from from the Class of Steele, only to take a bit of a hiatus, and do some things with family and some other business things that he needed to take care of. But we begged, we pleaded, we hinted, we dropped hints on our WhatsApp forum, we dropped hints on emails, personal phone calls, wherever we could do it, to say, hey, you have got to start this thing back up. We miss you. We need you. We miss the information. We're here like sponges now, just dry and needed to absorb knowledge and absorb water and expand and keep expanding and keep expanding the mindset and the information that we'd taken in. And for lack of better words and understanding, we've become addicted to the information given to us in the Class of Steele. An amazing journey. So if you're tuning in now to us live stream on the different platforms, prepare yourself for an amazing journey going into 2024. What the Class of Steele meant to me and personally for me, I've always had a big stake wherever God saw fit to lay my head, whether it was back in the U.S., whether it was in the Caribbean, whether it was in the UK, whether it's China, whether it's now here in Africa, always to be part of active community service. I remember my teacher had once told us that a kung fu school should not exist unless it is doing something positive in the community in which it resides. And that always stuck with me as something. So I move forward to make sure that my teacher's edicts and wishes were kept. So it became a issue of time management with me. There were a couple of times when I was unable to make my commitments at the Class of Steele youth. So the issues and the lessons on time management really stuck home for me. I had to sit up and take notice and put on the big boy pants and say, look, I need to structure my life where I can do everything that I needed to do, but most importantly, do it more effectively. Oftentimes we find ourselves spinning our wheels, and we'll say, I'm busy working. But are you working busily, or are you doing busy work? There's totally a difference between that. Sometimes you can be busy and not doing anything. You can be, oh wow, tired. I spent so many hours doing this. I spent so many hours doing that. But were you doing anything productive and meaningful with the time that you had? At the end of the day, when you take that assessment and you look back on the day and you think to yourself, what did I do today? And if you have a moment where you look back and think about all the time you spent, but there was not really any forward momentum or forward progress that you made in your life, then that's when you have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, I need to get better with time management. I need to get better with focus. I need to get better with those things that I need to do to weed out those things that are not necessary for, again, the production and the forward momentum and the positivity of getting projects done. Because we all have this thing, we've all been through it at some point in time in life, where at the end of the year, like we find ourselves now, is, oh man, what a year I've had. And then you take that assessment and look back over your year, and you remember what you said you needed to accomplish. You remember what you said you were going to accomplish into the next year. And then you look and you think about, heck, I haven't done even a third of the things that I said I needed to do or was going to do. And we begin to make all type of excuses and make all type of explanations for ourselves to make it better. But at the end of the day, again, like I said, we have to put on the adult clothes and the adult responsibility hat and say, hey, look, I messed up on this one, but fortunately you have an opportunity to start over and start anew every day through God's grace and mercy. So that's one of the things that I took with me into 2023 from the last year of Class of Steele. That was time management. It allowed me now to be more available for business, more available for family, more available for things that I need to do in my personal life. More time for my martial arts, just making sure I structured everything that I needed to do. So that's what the Class of Steele youth did for me, and that was my takeaway for 2023. I'm pretty sure everybody has a different story as to what they took away personally from 2023. Yes, it was a rough one. It was rough for everybody. Still on the leg of coming out from under a pandemic. We know quite a few people suffered as well. Quite a few businesses suffered. I'm sure in each region of the world that's represented here, we can know of somebody or some entities who also suffered to the point of even having to close businesses and close shops. And it may have been even difficult for some of us here in our various industries to stay afloat and stay above water. But fortunately, because of the stick-to-itiveness that our mentor had, because of the lessons that he shared with us, we were able to successfully navigate not only through COVID, but post-COVID as well, too, and come out here to the end of this 2023 year and look just in a day or two, a day and a few hours, it's going to be 2024. So I'm happy that we're here. We're here to talk about it. We have a lot of new friends and a lot of new people, a lot of family that's with us as we call ourselves. And I'm just looking forward to going into this new year with all of my friends and family here in the Class of Steele and our beloved mentor and First Lady. Looking forward to it. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for your input. And just so that everybody is aware, I think a lot of individuals are finding it very difficult today, unusually, to get into the class. Dr. Comfort has been going and coming and going and coming. Dr. Comfort, you've reached us. Let me just welcome you to this evening session. And we are just acknowledging 2023 and then looking at the journey ahead before I jump into this evening session. So I just want to welcome Dr. Comfort from Ghana with us this evening and just share your thought with us for 2023, what it was like for you in the Class of Steele and in your own personal life as well, 2023. Dr. Comfort, the curtain behind you, if you draw the curtain, because it's way too much light. So if you draw the curtain or back the curtain, it would be a lot better if you're able to do that. So we can see you clearly and the light would be removed.
I hope it's better.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, definitely. Good evening.
Good evening, Your Excellency, and all the excellencies in the house. The Class of Steele Youth. It's a pleasure to be on the site this evening, the last meeting of the year 2023. Actually, I'm on low battery and I was trying to put it on with that is why I was going off and on back. There have been a whole lot of things on my mind and things I've been handling and doing the whole day, the whole week, and the whole month. As a matter of fact, I've not been myself like, well, it has been all like that. Every time I'm busy, somebody told me today that there has never been a day that you say that I'm free. I say, yes, I'm always busy, but I set up priorities. My hands are full, but when I see that there's something that is more important than what I'm doing, I just drop off and then attach myself to it. So 2023 has been a lot of stories for me and challenges. And I thank God that all the challenges I've been riding on them. Let me put it this way, because by the grace of God, I'm almost through with all the challenges. That's the faithfulness of God. What I never expected cropped up, but then I saw the faithfulness of God for me to, what the expectation of whoever wanted to harm me did not happen, because the time that the person showed up, the Lord has already pulled me through. So I thank God. And there are some of the teachings in the Class of Steele that has also helped me so much. Being focused, not shaking and knowing how to deal with people, other cultures, and everything. You could imagine, even in Ghana, we have different cultures. And that helped me a lot because the time that the unexpected happened, the people wanted me to have behaved in a certain way. And I was just calm and collected, praying in my mind and also looking at the ways and means and how I can come out of it. Yes, so even though there was a time I have to take off the location on my phone. You just can't imagine. It just struck me, and then the moment I took the location of my phone, it saved me a lot. They were searching for me, so they couldn't get me. So when I finished what I was doing, I was at a wedding ceremony, and I finished what I was doing, and I put it on, and I saw a missed call, and I called back. Then the person told me that there was somebody who was looking for it. So the person took him around the city. He couldn't get a location. So the person has left. And I said, praise God. God knew my heart that what they are nailed on me isn't correct. So I learned a lot. And we missed a whole lot of the Class of Steele on 2023. And yeah, it was also good for us to recollect and then think over, ponder over whatever we have learned so far. And I'm looking forward for 2024 for God's revelation in my life to come to pass, to be fruitful. Since I tackled 2023 that I couldn't, I believe I'm overconfident that surely the Lord will pull me through. And we'll all laugh because when we are in, there's a saying in one of our dialects, Gan, that to it, if it is coming, then it is fearful. But when it has come, you fear nothing like anymore. It's one of our dialects that's Eba, meaning it's coming to reach them. So whatever I was foreseeing, well, it happened. But then when it happened, I have to look for solutions. And I believe the solutions have helped me, and it will pivots my way in 2024. And I know that 2024, the Lord will also open up other doors. And I also look at the Class of Steele youth, that as I have sent the information around for people, they will also come on board and they will learn a lot. And there will be our expectation of some events that will happen. That's what I'm looking forward to. The events that will happen in Ghana and that will promote to us other parts of the world. So, another not to take all the time, I'll end here and say that let us all be expectant that whatever we are expecting God to do, He will surely show up. So, Happy New Year in advance to everybody, especially the first week. He is also busy somewhere. Just thank you, Grand Master, for being there for us.
You're very welcome, and it's not me being here for us, it's us being here together for each other, because ultimately we all needed the support and the help and the guidance and the go on, you can do it from each other. We all do. Jail, I know you're in South Africa, and earlier we were trying to see if you were able to speak. I'm not sure if you could unmute and speak, but Jail, do you want to share your thought on 2023 with us, or you're not able to speak still? Jail in South Africa. Okay. Dr. Sade, you're with us, and you want to share with us your 2023, what it was like for you and what you're looking forward to in 2024, and And going forward, Dr. Sade from South Africa, go ahead.
Sure. 2023 for me was a very deep and very reflective year, I would say. And it was a year of lots of personal growth and development. I thank God for placing you, Dr. Steele, in my life with those random phone calls and messages of encouragement, and just by literally watching my business from afar and letting me know that I'm doing okay, even though I felt in my personal capacity that it wasn't good enough, or I wasn't pushing as hard enough, or I wasn't seeing the numbers. And it was a year where I had to jump out of my comfort zone, lots of travel. But I've achieved a lot, and I've realized that through the challenges that I've experienced, the foxes in the sheepskin, through all of that, God sends his ministering angels in different forms, and I'm really and truly appreciative of him for that, because I decided to take some time out from about August or so, just to ground and settle and just hear his audible voice and listen to his vision and let that come into fruition. Because ultimately, we always want to be in the controlling or the driver's seat, so to speak. So that has been my 2023. And the end has just been a lot of surrender, a lot of faith work, and that has obviously filtered into the business. But most importantly, like I say, I lean totally back on the self-development and obviously the increased relationship with my creator, my maker. And I think I can take on so much more through him and his plan that he has for me, which is to prosper and grow in every single area. So I look forward to being blessed, to be a blessing.
All right. Thank you so very much, Dr. James. And again, I think we're in a very precarious position in 2023. One of the things that have happened so much is so many persons have died in 2023, personal friends. As a matter of fact, right a couple of days ago, just a couple of days ago, the son of my very, very best friend, who has passed in January of this year, his son has just been found. And it becomes overwhelming. The emotions of 2023 have been very overwhelming for many. We've had to fight many challenges, personal challenges, health challenges, financial challenges, emotional and psychological. And why I decided that I want to close 2023 is because I want to really close it. And how do you close something? Because it's important. How do you close a chapter in a book? A lot of you are looking at 2024, but I want to ask you a couple of questions in this evening's session. And I want you to take note, and I want you to focus on them because they're actually going to help you. I want you to focus on, how do you close a chapter and move on to a next chapter? How do you close or cancel the horrible effects of an experience and prepare yourself for a level of great anticipation of better things to come? because 2024 is before us. And currently, the predictions for 2024, weather-wise, climate-wise, looks catastrophic. Potential war looks catastrophic. With regards to the changes in economies, looks catastrophic. With regards to nutrition and food and health, it looks catastrophic. And the past couple of weeks, while I have been preparing for 2024 and beyond, I've been looking at the trends that we are faced with and having to come to some very stark realities. And one of the stark realities that I've come to is recognizing if we do not close 2023, it's gonna follow us, go with us, be with us, manifest itself in 2024. And it's not going to be because we've made resolutions that we don't want to see change. It's not going to be that. It's going to be really because we did not understand closing 2023. So I want to help you. When COVID first came, a lot of deaths happened, and my wife and I had just relocated to the UK. And in Barbados, a lot of my schoolmates and personal friends and family fell prey to the circumstances therein. And many lost their lives. And because it was a new experience at such a horrific level, death is not new to us, but the amount of deaths in a short space of time, the amount of emotions that you had to deal with were catastrophic. And they created an environment where we lost focus. How many of you lost focus when COVID came? A lot of us lost focus. A lot of us became disillusioned. A lot of us lost the ability to put proactive things in place to kind of balance what we were facing. It was difficult. Even the words to put in place of what those years were like when COVID first came is challenging, because it was nothing like the world has seen before. And it hit all of us. It wasn't just one person crying and saying, I just lost someone, but it was number of individuals that you speak to, everybody lost someone. And as the years roll by after COVID, we're in that period still going through it. Have you noticed that we have become a little bit more sensitized to death? Have you realized that we don't grieve as much as before? I want to talk to you because I want you to recognize some things that are happening, how they're happening, why they're happening, and I want to prepare you for 2024. But have you noticed that you get a call now when you hear somebody died, and somehow the tears and the emotion and the heartbreak, it's not as horrible. It doesn't mean we don't love the persons. It doesn't mean that we don't care. But it seems as though we are becoming comfortable with death. We're becoming comfortable with you can't take a week off work now, because when you lost a loved one many years back, people sometimes will take time off because of the emotional trauma and the difficulty that death brought to the table. But now we're in an environment where we can't afford to say, I need to stop and grieve. We can't, because there's so many deaths, teachers, student friends, relative, loved ones, people that know people that we know, that so many. Now, why am I kind of stressing and adding some conversation to this notion of our changing in light of all of the deaths is important? Because we're on the threshold of world war. We're on the threshold of global chaos. We look at what is happening in Israel and different regions around the world, and in the DRC, in Congo. We look at what is happening in other regions in Africa, what is happening globally. We are looking and seeing it. And we're becoming a little more accustomed to death. We're becoming a little more aware that it might happen. It is starting to become the norm. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because if you're going to go into 2024, there's some things that you're going to have to recognize. I cannot jump off the bandwagon because this happened. I cannot stop what I'm trying to accomplish, or I cannot turn to the left or to the right because this particular thing happened. Let's look at relationships. Those close friends that you had, and people that were really close to you. Because of chaos, be it financial, be it instability, because of the chaos that has ensued in 2023, 2022, 2021, how many of you lost a lot of close friends that you thought were going to be close to you? You thought they were going to be right there with you. How many of us lost some of those persons through death? I've lost so many of my confidants and my mentors through death. So many of them in the past 3 years. And they're the individuals that I looked and said, I so want to make him proud. I so want to make her proud. How many of you had those individuals and they're gone? They're gone. They're not there anymore. Does that mean that because they're no longer there for me to show them in the physical life that I've made them proud? Does that mean that the efforts that I was putting in, the work that I was putting in, does that mean that I should drop the ball on being excellent? Does it mean that I should step back and don't try so hard to be successful? Does it mean that I should just throw in the towel and continue to smoke or continue to drink or continue to live however I'm living without any care or concern because so many are gone and we thought they were going to be here, but they're not? Does it mean that I too must diminish responsibility as a result of the chaos that has passed? I want you to think. I want you to think, because if you do not close 2023, 2024 is not going to be favorable to you. I'm not cursing you. I'm not trying to create an environment of scaremonger or anything like that. What I'm trying to do is propel you with the right mindset for 2024 and beyond. And you have to foster that mindset from today. You have to cultivate it. And what does cultivating it mean? Cultivating it means that in January you might not got it perfectly together. February you might be a little better. March you might be getting it. April you might be getting the knack of it, and May might be the month that you may be saying, yes, I got it. But you have to cultivate it right now. The mindset, the understanding, the structuring. I have a lot of people as a mentor and as a bishop. There are a lot of individuals who have been passing through divorce, broken relationships, and they're traumatized beyond measure. No motivation, can't get up, can't go forward. And they ask me, Rev, Bishop, Ambassador, Dr. Steve, how do you make it? What is it that have caused you to rise above situations that come in life? What is it? I actually had somebody saying to me, Michael, you're a novelty. Not everybody is like you. Not everybody thinks the way you think. Not everybody operates the way you operate. Not everybody has the abilities that you have. And I've been thinking about it. And I want to tell you the honest truth. I am not that much of a novelty. I'm not that much of greater than anybody else. What I will tell you that might be different is I learned the lesson fast. I think that's what might be different. I learned the lesson quickly. You know, sometimes you look at your life and you recognize, if I don't change this, it's not going to be in my best interest. How many of you got some of those things from 2023 that you say, if I don't change this, 2024 is going to be the same way 2023 was? Come on, wave at me. I can see you. I know the audience can't see you, but I want you to be honest. If you're not honest with yourself and going into 2024, the lies you told yourself in 2023 are going to propel you into 2024, and they are going to grab hold of you, hold on to you, keep you, and the same results that you had in 2023, you will have in 2024. This is not me cursing you. This is the nature of not changing. This is the nature of inaction when you recognize I need to do something about this situation. What in 2023 was your biggest challenge? I have great news for you. Yes, great news. Your biggest challenge in 2023 is your biggest opportunity in 2024. I'll say it again. Your biggest challenge in 2023 is your greatest opportunity for 2024. For example, dealing with loss is very chaotic. It is very chaotic when you're dealing with loss. Loss of a loved one, loss of a business, loss of a friend, loss of an opportunity, loss of a position that you held so tightly. But loss creates an unusual opportunity that I want to share with you. You see, here's the thing. You could beat yourself about a loss, or you could consider it as an opportunity for what you're going to gain as a result of losing. How many times you've had a car and you drive your car that broke down? You get angry. Broke down, you get angry. It broke down, you get angry. And one day, it stopped working. It didn't break down, it stopped. And all of a sudden, you find yourself frustrated and overwhelmed and hunting to find a vehicle because you need transportation. And in that process, you got another vehicle. That was a lot better because you said the last one had problems with the carburetor and the AC wasn't working. And no, the next vehicle I get, I'm going to make sure these things are working. So, in as much as you would have made a loss, you've also had a few lessons in the process of that loss. And those lessons would have prepared you with the tools that are needed for you to change. When so many people died in 2020 and 2021, I was an emotional wreck as a bishop because here am I crying for loved ones, and there's this statement that always greet me. It keeps me as a bishop, and I'll give it to you. Write this statement down. Don't grieve more than the bereaved. You may understand it at a different level, but do not grieve more than the bereaved. How many of you have ever been to a funeral and see somebody who wants to jump in the casket and take up the mud and put it in their pocket and carry it with them, and they're walking like their world has come to an end? They're going in and they're calling for a month off from work and they need therapy and counseling. And then you heard it was their best friend's uncle's cousin that died. I might have extremed that to a degree, but I extremed it to a degree for this reason. A lot of times, we sometimes can control how we respond to situations. It's a choice. That's what's different about me and others. It's a choice. Of course, there are people that have gone on that when they come into my mind, tears still well up in my eyes. But I don't need a day off. I'm not going to cancel an appointment that is for the progress of what I'm doing. Of course, I'm going to go there, and when I'm there, I might be quiet because I'm reflecting and it is hurting. Of course. But it's not the end of my world. It was the end of their world. How many of you had those loved ones that were suffering and you thought, wow, at least they're out of their suffering? Then if you are so confident they're out of their suffering, then don't you be suffering and keeping those that are and those that are alive and around you are seeing you pining as if you're going to die. I'm not being harsh and insensitive. What I'm trying to do is to tell you, in 2024, you have to guard your emotions. You have to walk as a tower of strength into 2024. Because you see, your health is so important in 2024. It's going to be so important. And any emotional trauma is going to go into the next level of health trauma. And then you're going to lose focus, lose motivation. You might even demotivate some of those who are passionate with you or are a part of your team. You might even demotivate them. Because while you're crying about your problem or your challenge or your emotional distress, they might also be trying to manage theirs, but you might be keeping it to the surface. You get what I'm saying? When you call me to cry on your shoulders about a death, I've got 5 deaths that I just had in the space of a week. 2 of my schoolmates and 2 teachers from school. So I want you to be in a place where your mind is saying, if I want to go through 2024, I have to close some chapters. I have to close some doors. Some friends and relationships that you've lost, you have to bury them. You have to bury them. Of course, they're alive, they're not dead. But you have to bury the relationship that you had and consider they have died and gone to heaven. Wave at me if you get what I'm saying. Because when somebody's died and gone to heaven, all the crying and all the emotions and all the praying and all the fasting will not bring them back. So you have to look at some situations and some people and bury them in 2023. Somebody choose. Somebody choose that you had, that you know that if you had behaved a little bit more appropriately, you might not have lost that opportunity. You know what I mean? If you were a little bit more calm, tolerant, you know, there's some hard knock attitudes that you would have displayed that were clearly the reason for the outcome. I don't even get what I'm saying. The reason for the outcome was clearly, irrevocably that attitude. That if you don't tweak it or bury it, 2024 is going to give you some of the same situations. Because how many of you know there's nothing new under the sun? There's nothing new. You're going to meet people. People are going to have problems. You're going to have ideas. Ideas are going to get knocked out and encouraged or discouraged. You're going to have opportunities, and some of them are going to be for you, and some of them are going to be not for you. So the same thing is going to happen in 2024 that kind of happened in 2023 and 2022 and 2021. But if you want different results, then there's some things you have to bury in 2023 so that when you go into 2024, they're not with you. In the military, there's a training that you go through. You have to run with a log. Huge, heavy log. They started off with a number of you running with this log together while you're in boot camp, and you get accustomed to the weight of the log. You get accustomed to logging with something. You know what I mean? Carrying a weight that is not your own. You get accustomed to being a part of a team, and everybody is carrying this log. So the best part of carrying the log is being in the middle where you're the shortest man. Well, how many of you know when there are only 2 of you carrying the log, there's no shortest man in the process? You see, if you don't learn how to carry your weight when it's 10 of you carrying the same log, my friend, there's going to be a time where there's only going to be 2 of you carrying the log, one at either end. But then what happens further in training is you have to take you call it your running mate, and you have to put him on your shoulders and run with him. You can't put him down. And just for the record, you have your tackle, he has his tackle too. And you have to carry him. Why did you do that? You notice they didn't start you with just waking up the morning and as you get to boot camp, you're carrying somebody big and heavy. No, you can't do that. You can't, it's not going to work. Grandmaster, anytime I'm going, I don't know if I want you to be on my team or I want to be on your team. Your size is good to carry me, but I'm not sure about me carrying your size. But that's another conversation for the next day. I will hope that I'm confident that you're going to be okay so I don't have to carry you, because the only thing that I will be able to do is just sit with you and we'll write it out together, keeping your company. I won't abandon you, but I don't think I'll carry you. But you go through the training at levels to build the muscles. 2023 was boot camp, guys. 2022 was boot camp for 2023. 2021 was boot camp for 2022, which prepared you better for 2023. And now you're at the place where you're going into 2024, you've got some baggage to drop. You've got some decisions to make. So that you could advance successfully in 2024 and beyond. So don't set those grand resolutions, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, before you set the grand funeral service for 2023. Write down some things that you're going to bury in 2023. Some attitudes. Some places where you were not proactive that you could have been more active. Some places where you were more passive when you could have been a little bit more aggressive. Some places where you were too aggressive where you could have been a bit more passive. You know, strike a balance. But one of the greatest lessons you're going to learn, and I hope that in closing 2023, you get this greatest lesson. The team you think you have is not as big as you think it is. I want to say this again. The team you had is not as big as you think it is. I really want you to get that. Why do I want you to focus on that? Because a lot of you are already hinging, crutching your 2024 on the people that are going to be with you, or the people you think are going to be there to support you, or the people you think are the best tools to have with you. My friend, you're setting yourself up for calamity. I want you to hear me carefully. Write that down. The team I think I have is not really as big as I think it is. There's some people that are just waiting for their breakthrough. And if it happens while they're with you, my friend, they are not going to stay with you. They will abandon you because they're just desperately waiting for their breakthrough. How can I be so bold and brave and confident as to say that? Oh, thank you for asking. I'm glad you asked me. I can be brave to say that because I was foolish once. Oops, I'm sorry. Twice. Oh, come on, Michael, stop lying. Okay. I was foolish a lot of times into looking at my team, being confident in my team, and realizing the team that I think I have is not as big as the thing I really thought I had. Is that good news or bad news? News is never good or bad, it's how you take it. It's not good or bad news, it's how you take it. So how have I taken that news personally? Ooh, I'm glad you asked me so that I can answer you. I've taken it that if I can't depend on me and hope that you will be there, but if you're not, I'm capable, confident, competent, and prepared. If I can't get that foundation in place in 2024, there's no point going into 2024 thinking I'm going to be successful. Can I do without you? Yes, I can. Oh, you should write that down. Write it down. Can I do without you? Yes, I can. I can't do without you. I can't. My friend, listen to me. How many of those persons that we thought we couldn't do without between 2020 and 2023, and they've gone on to their maker? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're still here. Am I going to set myself up to make you think that I can't do without you? No, I will not. And you need to say that. You need to look at me and say, Dr. Steele, I'm not going to make you think that in 2024 that I need you to make my 2024 success. No, no. My 2024 is not hinged on you, Dr. Steele. My 2024 is not hinged on the Class of Steele. No. My 2024 is hinged on my attitude. My 2024 is hinged on my confidence in my ability to make things happen. My ability to make my team work, or my ability to keep my team together. But if my team does not have the same confidence as I do, trust me, my 2024 is not going to be hinged on nobody but Michael Steele. When 2024, December 31st, 2024 comes, and anybody looks at me and says, why did this happen? The good? It was because I made it happen. I worked, I pushed, I pressed in there and made it happen. Why didn't that happen? It was because I failed. I failed in this area. If I had done this better or done that better, maybe it would have been different. So in 2025, I will fix that. Listen, Class of Steele. Listen carefully. And for this part of what I'm going to say to you when I'm asking you to listen carefully, I'm going to get scriptural as a bishop. You know, I normally don't use the teaching in the Class of Steele and use Bible references and preaching. But for the sake of where we're going, I want to do it. Remember when Gideon was found and they said to Gideon, thou great man of valor, Gideon, look at you. Gideon said, who, me? Man of valor? Scary cat like me? No, 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 no. Sometimes what people see in you, you might not see in yourself. Prove yourself wrong, not them. I'll say that again. Sometimes what people see in you, you might not see in yourself. Don't prove the people wrong, prove yourself wrong. Doreen, you're going to be so successful. I know you're going to be super successful. I know nothing is going to get in your way in 2024, 2025. Nothing or nobody. I know it. Trust me, I know it. Why do I know it, Doreen? Because you got the right attitude. You're putting the right things in place. And it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. You're doing it. You're going to cut off the good, the bad, the ugly. Whoever needs to get cut off, they're gone. End of discussion. So I hope you prove me right, and Grandmaster right, and Dr. Sade and Ruth and Bishop Comfort and Mabio and Jai. I hope you prove all of us right that you got this. You're gonna be so awesome. You're gonna be so fantastic in 2024. As a matter of fact, I want to be your friend in 2024. Please keep me on the team. Grandmaster, I already know you got 2024 locked down. I know it. Because the mere fact that you have started to seriously lock down and prioritize on your time and who you're dealing with and who you're connecting with and who you're working with. The mere fact that you're doing that as a part of the process of due diligence to propel you into 2024 tells me certainly you got this. You got it. But let's look at something else about Gideon. Gideon chose 300 men. Gideon chose 3,000 at first. And then the army got broken down. No, 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 no. Sorry. Those are too many. What do you mean? Those are too many. 300, break it down. Sometimes you look around and you're busy with converting and convincing people about what you're doing, what you're trying to do. And the truth of the matter is you're not doing it because you're busy trying to convert and convince. No, you got this. Dr. Ruth,
Yes,
I look at you and
yes.
I smile.
God
Congratulations.
bless you.
Congratulations on a great event.
Thank thank you so much, Your Excellency. Good evening, Your Excellencies, Grandmaster, Dr. Bishop Campus Edu.
Good evening to you, Ruth.
Good evening, Dr. James. And good evening to all of us. Yeah. If I should continue to apologize again for being late. We actually hoping, so I had to take the children for them to spend some, feeling very tired and had some headache, so I slept off. And I woke up and remembered that I have a class to attend.
You're welcome. Don't worry. Don't worry. I says to my wife, if ever I come to the Class of Steele and it's only me right here, I'm going to put my video recording on and the Facebook recording on, and I'm going to do the class for the world because my message must reach the world, even if you're not a part of the world. So I want to, those of you, I want you to got that in your mind for 2024. I am responsible. I am going to do this. This is me making it happen. It doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter who is with me. It doesn't matter who's on my team. I am going to make it. I'm not giving up. I'm not throwing in the towel. How many of you get what I'm saying? So let me give you a few pointers that are going to happen in the Class of Steele for 2024. Let me give you some pointers of what's going to happen. Number one, we're going to do the Class of Steele the same every Saturday at the same time. We're going to do the Class of Steele, okay? And I'm going to commit to it wholeheartedly because I've observed that a lot of people receive so much support. You cannot imagine the amount of calls that I receive and the amount of individuals that went through chaotic times, and they were so grateful for the fact that us here in the Class of Steele and our contributions, our conversations helped them. How many of you are with me? Okay? And as a result of that, I personally believe that what we're doing, because it is the way it is, it's structured the way it is, a lot of people are getting help. And how many of you know if there is anything that humanity dictates, it is that we give back something. There are a lot of people that have died and gone on, and when you look at them, you recognize they did not give back anything. They didn't leave anything for anybody to say, wow, this person left this. You know what I mean? All is known as they were working at this company, they were faithful, they've died, they've gone on. But you can't see anything that they would have left. No profile of encouragement for others, no foundation of charity or anything. They haven't left. How many of you get what I'm saying? And if you're going to go into 2024, you must be a legacy builder. You must be a legacy builder. How many of you know, as I told you, the Class of Steele has a 100-year vision? 100 years. Why do we have a 100-year vision? Because I'm not thinking that I'm going to live to be 153 years old. Surely. It would be nice. Right now, so it's all right. You've got reserve. Any time of famine, you have backup. If a famine comes, I'm gone in a hurry. But I'm not thinking I'm going to live to be 150. What am I thinking? I'm thinking that you and your children are. I'm thinking that the schools that we're going to plant are going to be leaving a legacy. The universities, the libraries. I'm thinking the people that we are going to mentor that are going to be people who are going to live to be 50 and 60 and 70 years old and live lives of integrity and character. They're not going to find themselves within the criminal justice system because they're going to live lives of integrity, whatever their religion. Religion has nothing to do with integrity and character. It's all about how you choose to live as an individual. In 2024, we're going to be present. What do I mean by present? I want to see your face and I want you to see mine. And I want your children to be able to go, or your friends to be able to go and sit down and see you in an environment where you are doing good. You're helping others with your advice. You're not ashamed of your difficulties. You're not ashamed of your challenges, because nothing new is happening to you that hasn't happened to anybody. So I am going to be wanting individuals who are going to be coming to the Class of Steele because they want to help humanity, because they want to give back information, advice, questions, answers, support, opinions. That's what I'm looking for in 2024. In 2024, I'm going to be more structured. Of course, a lot of you know that I am a man of protocol and timing. When the Class of Steele started, a lot of Nigerians were impressed because this was one of the only places that persons got to on time. Dr. Comfort could attest that a lot of pastors and bishops, they were coming to class on time because they know that I'm going to start on time. In 2024, we're going to see each other, I guarantee you. Ambassador Doreen and Grandmaster and Dr. Comfort and Dr. Sade, Ruth in Botswana and Ghana, Jail in South Africa, all of you who are here, we're going to see each other. However, it depends on you. It depends on you deciding this is something I want to do. You're going to have to make an effort. It's up to you. I'm not asking anybody to show up anywhere. I will show up by myself if I have to. Why? Because it's about me leaving a legacy and a global footprint. And I told all of you who've joined the Class of Steele, a passport is a requirement. Why is a passport a requirement? Of course, you've got social media. Of course, you've got YouTube, where you can now go and look at the whole world and see it for yourself. But how many of you want to let your children know that granddad or grandmom was a traveler? Come on, somebody. In 50 years from now, what do you want them that are speaking about you to say about you? Oh, this man's crossed the earth. He went places. How many of you, when you die, you want it to be streamed and have a mass state funeral when you die? When I die, I want a state funeral. I want the world to know I'm not there. When I'm going to be so busy. Come on, somebody. I'm going to be so busy helping so many people doing so many things that when I'm not there, I promise you, I'm going to be missed. Hey, somebody. You're going to miss me where I'm gone. Not because I was a nuisance or I was a waste of time and you're just going to talk my name. No. Because the impact that I intend to make on this earth, in your life and the lives of others that I come in contact with, I am going to be missed when I'm gone. Wave your hand if that's part of your vision for 2024 with me. Let me see. I don't see my Doreen. Ambassador Doreen is quiet. I don't see her hand up. Ambassador Doreen, you're there. Ruth is there. Aha. I see all of you. I see you. I see you in the chat as well. But I want you to be present. Now, this is something else that you have to bury in 2024. Jesus, I hear somebody wanting gun salutes. Hey! Listen to me. This is something else you have to leave in 2023. You have to bury. This is something else you have to bury. A negative opinion. You have to bury a negative opinion. You know, how many of you have people around you that are always telling you, you know, you got to get real, or you know, you got to come back to reality? How many of you have some of those people around you? How many of you have some of those? Get back to reality. You got to keep it real. Don't go overboard with your zeal. How many of you have some of those folks? Well, listen carefully to me. Listen carefully to me. In 2023, on the 31st of December, there's going to be a funeral arrangement. And your opinions are going to be buried. Don't tell me, get real, because the pain I feel is real. But it does not discount the fact that I am not stopping because I'm feeling pain. How many of you get what I'm saying? I just don't want to talk about the pain for you to have me feeling as though the pain is a stop sign or the pain is a hindrance to me. The pain is not a hindrance to me. The pain is a reality that I have to face and deal with, and I'm dealing with it. But I don't want it to be something that is a priority, that it is a forefront, that is so critical and so important that I am stopped, done, stuck. In 2023, I'm burying distractions. How many of you have some distractions that you need to bury? There's some things that you know you're waiting for, and because you're waiting for them, it's hindering your progress, stopping you from moving forward. You got to bury them in 2023. And you got to stand up. Sorry. You got to stand up. And what you have to do is this. Look, I really want you with me in 2024. I really do. You're going to be, you can be an asset. But until I see your commitment, I will not count on you. Until I see your dedication, I'm not counting on you. A lot of you need to put that in your radar for 2024. Who are those people that are there and they're just dead weight? You have to get rid of them. I've got 2 more minutes before I give over to Doreen. Her Excellency Ambassador Doreen Burunji is going to come and speak with you. And then I will wrap up and close with some other points for 2024. But I want you to do this. I want you to do this. If you're going to commit to something, I want you to commit. If you're going to commit to going to the gym, listen to me. Listen. Get up and go. Rain, fall, sunshine, get up and go. I have a sister who is a fitness guru. My sister Sonia. She's such an inspiration to me. She's a phenomenal. She's had her babies, got pregnant, and after her pregnancy, she goes right back into. She's joined the pregnancy. She's still doing her training within reason, and after her pregnancy, she goes back into her routine and training, and she looks phenomenal, fantastic. And moms that have babies says, you don't look like you've had any babies. But the reason why is because she does something after she has her babies. Whatever the emotions are, whatever the dynamics that she goes through or you go through as a mom bringing a child into this world, even if it is after that, you have the after baby depression sometimes, the different challenges, but whatever it is, you fight those things, you overcome them, and you make a difference. But I want you in 2024 to stick to what you say you're going to do. Don't make excuses. I don't want your excuses for being late in class. If you come late, you just show up and be quiet. Don't give me an excuse. I don't want it. And the same attitude I want you to apply to work. If you show up late, you should not be showing up apologetic. You should be on time. Don't prepare for the eventuality of if I'm late, I'll do this, I'll do that. Don't prepare for that. Prepare to be early all the time. Make it an attitude. Don't be comfortable with being late. Don't be comfortable with not showing up on time. Do not be comfortable with it. Don't. Don't be comfortable with being absent. If you're supposed to show up for work or show up for your business or show up for your project or show up for your team, don't be comfortable with being absent. Beat yourself. Don't be absent and just, oh, Ricky will take care of that. That's fine. Ricky, you've got it. No, no. Don't be comfortable in 2024 with that sluggish attitude and character. Do not be. If you were supposed to show up for something in the class of Steve, and I'm your mentor, that's why I'm here. I'm your mentor. And if anybody's going to be hard on you, it's going to be me. Expect me to be hard on you as your mentor because I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make you better. And you don't get better when you're comfortable. So if you're supposed to do something and you don't do it, expect me to be angry. Raise your hand if you heard what I just said. Expect me to be angry and annoyed with you. Expect it. But it's the same thing with your own life. If you're supposed to show up for your children, if you're supposed to show up for your boss, if you're supposed to show up for your school or for your course, your professor, if you're supposed to show up for the project that you're working on and you don't show up, be angry with yourself. Because if you don't get angry with yourself and disappointed in your own behavior, then you will carry it through in the next era. And those that are watching you and following you will be comfortable in that type of behavior. Listen to me. I am one of the hardest persons on myself. Doreen, Grandmaster, all of you who know me as a mentor will tell you, I am one of the hardest persons on myself. When I commit to doing something, nothing stops me. Nothing gets in my way. I promise you, nothing. The only thing that ever gets in my way is the other players. And over the years, I've discovered anything that you're doing with other players, don't take personal ownership of it. Leave it as a team effort. So that if it doesn't work as a result of team failure, you personally don't feel like you're a failure. How many of you get what I'm saying? There are things that you can't feel like a failure if others don't carry their weight. And you have to know how to strike the balance between your responsibility and the responsibilities of the team. Ambassador Doreen, please go ahead and share. I will be silent and then I will come after you and I will wrap up this evening's session. You're very welcome, Ambassador Doreen. You don't have to explain. You're welcome.
Good evening to you, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele. Can you hear me? Okay. And all the ambassadors in the house and all our guests. I would like to apologize. I came a little bit late, but I'm here. I was looking forward to being part of this class tonight. My topic tonight is the unknown. The unknown. Moving into the unknown. That's my topic tonight, and I would like to share with you how this unknown has gotten me to where I am. The unknown can be categorized in several ways. You can go to the unknown place. You can walk into unknown situations. You can also move into a thing. You go into something like, for example, right now, we're having a class of steel and it's unknown to you. So if it's your first time to come to the class of steel, this is really unknown. You actually have no idea of what the class of steel is all about. And for me, the unknown has gotten me so far because, well, the unknown can also be characterized as, you don't know you don't know the situation, you don't know the place, you don't know the area. So you can't be very confident in the unknown. It only takes some time for you to move into that space. So you find that so many people are not able to walk into the unknown. For example, the unknown can also be you want to start a business and you've been in civil service for a very long time. I can imagine those who have gone through school, then they get into employment. All their life they have been employed. Then there comes a time they have to retire. So in my country, people retire at 60. So if you did not prepare yourself very well for the unknown, when the cutoff age comes, you are really frightened of the unknown and you don't even know what you will do. That is one category. The second category is those that come to a school or a university, especially your first day at school. You're going to find so many people like you of your age. Some of them are older than you. You have to get familiar with the system. That is the unknown. Then you can also have the unknown when you get married. This is the unknown. You don't know whether this marriage will work or it will end in the first 1 year. So what is it that you are in the unknown? I remember when I was still employed and I had the desire to start a business. In fact, while I was still at school, I knew that in my spirit, I knew one day I will go solo. As young as I was, I had a vision. So I worked for quite a longer time before I started my business. But there are many times people would recommend that I start a business, but I was not ready for the unknown. And I had no good training for the unknown, for that which I wanted to do. But a time came and the unknown began to call me, to pull me closer to what I needed to do. I got tired. I just got tired from being in the comfort zone. The unknown is a place where once you're being called into the unknown, you keep getting closer to the unknown, because you also, deep inside of you, you want to go into that space of the unknown. A time will come and you have to enter the unknown. And so I had to release employment and enter into the unknown. But there was so many fear around people, my surrounding, my associations, those that were before me, those that were with me at that point, and those that had not even entered into the unknown. So there were a lot of discouragement. You're a young girl. You can't go into this unknown. Excuse, who are you? What family do you come from? What connections do you have? Everyone is asking. They are trying to discourage you. And I say, no, I am ready for this unknown. Because I had the urge of the unknown, that I will succeed in what I will do. I was completely, because this is what I already envisioned myself becoming. So the time had come for me to stay in the unknown. And so I stayed in the unknown. I would like to say this, that in order for every one of us to feel free and be fulfilled within us, one has to experience the unknown, because the unknown brings out the best version of yourself, and you're able to learn from the unknown. If everything is prepared for you and everything you're mentored, you're being mentored, you'll not experience life. But if you enter into this unknown space and you do things that you never did, you'll continue to learn and you develop and you begin to have to understand how other people do things. You learn, you get to learn cultures, you get to know behaviors, you begin to share life experiences. That is to say, when I was invited to the Class of Steele, I entered into a class of so many people with accolades, so many people, very confident people. And this was unknown for me completely. I got a cold feet, but being me, very already accustomed to spaces of unknown, I knew that there were certain things I needed to learn from this space. So I kept pushing myself and not giving up. And of course, I knew there was going to be criticism. And I said, that will not scare me. I'll continue moving into this unknown space. And guess what? This is what the unknown has trimmed me to be. So I got better. I continued to learn. I continued to develop. I continued to network. And I got a lot of opportunities to do other things out of just an invitation of the Class of Steele. So what do I say is that for greater things to happen, many people before us have come and have done the unknown. They went into that space of unknown. We can see that the first, the white missionaries, they came to Africa. They just said, what is on the other side of the world? They came as missionaries and they came to Africa. Today, because of those white missionaries, we are able to relate with other people of the other continent, and we are able to speak their language. So there was the unknown opens up opportunities, positive opportunities. Also, they also open up negative opportunities. That is to say, the negative opportunities also, we look at the slavery, African slavery, whereby the Africans were taken from Africa and taken to the US. That was still the unknown. So the Africans were taken from Africa. They had no idea of where they were going. And today we have Africans in Europe, Africans all over. We look at South Africa today. We have the Boers. They came from Europe. These are white, but they're South Africans. And they came to South Africa and found it's a nice place. It was the unknown. So anyone who is not in position to respond to the unknown voice is losing out on opportunity. It can either be positive or negative. The unknown, artificial intelligence, someone sat down and said, I can actually develop a software that can solve mankind's solutions. And that was the unknown. He didn't know that there would be so many people who would buy into this artificial intelligence. We are able to communicate quickly. Before, you would write a letter, it goes through post office, takes so many days and months to reach its final destination. Today, you just send a text and you're able to communicate. It's because someone sat down and said, you know, there is a better way of doing things. You've developed an artificial intelligence. The unknown is an opportunity. Like I had to decide and say, what will happen to me if I make a decision right now and I say, all these bad people, I'm gonna cut them off. Won't I exist? I will definitely exist. Let me see what happens. And I decided, okay, I'm gonna stand alone and see where I'm going. The unknown. So the unknown has power. It depends on what the unknown you are moving into. Are you moving into stepping into something? Stepping into a life? You can be stepping into a life of marriage, stepping into a life of divorce. The unknown. The unknown is the spirit. Let's say the Bible calls it faith. You must have faith for you to be able to believe in the step that you're going to do in your life. It's simple as that. You put your trust and completely depend on God whom you have never seen and say, this will work. That is the faith is called the unknown in simple terms. It's not religion, but this is a word, unknown. So it depends on the unknown journey. I have never come to I've never come to the UK to meet Dr. Michael Steele, but I see him here and I appreciate him. I know that one day I'll come to the UK, but this was the unknown. It was just an invitation that brought me into the Class of Steele. The unknown. I just said, okay. So I won't say much. Maybe next time I will add. I would like to give others an opportunity to contribute to this topic. And I will allow another person to continue. Thank you, Your Excellency. This is what I had to submit to you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I think it is quite fitting. It is quite fitting because it is actually what I have in my summary for going into 2024, because it is the unknown. And prior to your sharing, we looked at the things you have to bury in this 2023 to prepare for, well, we can now call it and label it for the unknown journey that we're going to embark on and make sure that we come out on the other side positive. I want to ask Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth and her husband just held a major event in Ghana for the youth and the youth orchestra, and they had some challenges with the getting it put out together in the media. But Dr. Ruth, I think you had a fantastic event. Could you share with us a little bit in closing the year out, your thoughts, please? Go ahead, Ruth.
Yes. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for the opportunity. I hope you can hear me.
Ruth, turn off your camera so that
Please, can I be heard?
yeah, turn off your camera and just use the audio. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Is it okay? Can I be heard?
Yes, we can
All
hear
right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We had a great time 3 days ago with the children and their parents, IGRAF School of Music, in collaboration with the Ghana National Symphony Orchestra. And from the beginning, everything was set. We scheduled everything, the timing and everything, but along the way, parents didn't show up on time, and it was getting a bit disappointing. But we sailed through. We went through, even though it consumed a lot of time. We took a lot of time to finish the program. But thank God we had a great time as well. The children were happy. They were able to exhibit their talents. Those who were into the violin class, the beginners class, they did marvelously well. And then those who sang gave us a melodious voice singing. I believe you can testify to that. And it was fun. It was all fun. Yeah, even though the parents in one way or the other gave us some sort of attitude and all that, but we didn't look at that. As Dr. Ambassador Doreen just said, talked about the unknown. These are bound to happen. The unknown, even in an event, they are bound to happen. And when they happen like that, what do? You just have to exercise constraints and then look at the positive side of it. It's sometimes disheartening to organize such a program and what you expect to happen, you don't get it. But that's not going to be the end. We are still going to forge ahead and keep organizing it. But this time, I believe we're going to organize it well, start the organization early so that things will be put in place, sensitize the public, the parents, and the children as well. Yes, so we really had a great time, and we also thank you, all those who joined in to watch, especially Dr. Michael Steele giving us his platform to see what was happening on the other side. I thank him so much for telecasting that too on social media. God richly bless you. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Ruth, for your contribution. And again, we definitely are looking at us coming together, Grandmaster and his team in Botswana, and your team as well, and Jail. I think Jail in South Africa have some young dancers as well. So we're going to structure something in the potential summer of 2024 next year. We're looking at what can we put together, what could happen, and we're going to make it happen next year. So that's something that I am looking forward to. And with or without those other contributors, I am looking forward to coming myself and being there with those young musicians in person. They send me a lot of birthday greetings. I've seen them quite often, and I absolutely love them. But I want to be right there on the ground holding them and cheering them on in person. And I think Grandmaster would be very pleased to join me in making sure that we do that as well. And Ambassador Doreen is a mommy at heart. Don't let her fool you with her busy business nature. She's a mommy at just like First Lady Jeannie and Dr. Comfort. So we are looking forward to seeing the next generation. That's part of our legacy right there that we're going to be nurturing and they reach the level. All right.
We'll be review of next year for the year.
Dr. Comfort, share your contribution to this evening's final class for 2024. For 2023, my goodness, I'm in 2024 already, too fast. Dr. Comfort, please.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, we can hear you, man. You are clear.
It's a good stuff that you have laid on the table for us for 2024. And just as I was saying, 2024 is a victory year for us. Why am I saying that? It's because we have to be determined. With determination, we can make it. We look back. That is why history is important. It makes you focus. You look back at what has transpired, and you sit down and then you reschedule yourself, your mind, your activities, everything. And then you, by the hope and the trust in God, try to move over what went wrong the year past and be determined to get over it. So I think it's in a good direction. Not always thinking about the people that you are working with will make you win. No, you must think about the input you yourself will put in. How you impact your generation is from your thoughts and your, I'll add this, your strength. When I say your strength, I mean things that you can put to.
You've gone mute, Dr. Comfort. Yeah, go ahead.
It's not.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So, well, I'm poised and I'm determined that I will not let whatever came my way override me. I must rather look at a different direction. And if this thing did not work, what about the other thing? God has given us a whole lot of ideas. We have our mentors. We have things that's going on in the world. We have so many things that we can tap from. And I always say that victory is dependent mostly on determination. If you are determined to win, even your failures will be a stepping stone for you. If you are determined to win, you don't bother because you know that you are more than them. Natural facts. Let's as you are saying, if God will say that, God forbid, if they die, what else? So sometimes you have to forget them and then move ahead as if they are dead or they don't exist. And try to see what you can do yourself. I think we can make it because God did not plant us on this earth to fail. He has something for us, and that something for us may be hidden in us, and then through this mentorship, it will be unveiled. And if it's unveiled, it's up to you to take a step. There's a saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter the number of failures you have gone through. I remember one of our presidents, prime minister, he failed 7 times. His Excellency Dr. K. Buzia, he failed 7 times, but then he became a professor. So I know that the Class of Steele youth, we have a whole lot of professors among us, and I believe you can make it. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. You also sometimes overlook our faults. And you don't push me because if you take me as a mother, so that's I know His Excellency can be so hard, but why isn't he so hard on me? So that I make myself hard as if I'm in the sleep. Anyway, I salute you all. Be hopeful for 2024. In His good time, God will make it happen to us. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Comfort. And you know, I remember in the earlier times, like you said, I being a mentor and being a mentor of elders. From the time I was 19, I was mentoring elders. But as you get older, your respect for your elders gets greater and you become a little softer in your approach when you're mentoring your elders. I guess you know that there are times that His Majesty the King he would always say, "No, no, it's okay to rebuke me. It's okay, you know." But we still have to learn that balance. We still have to learn that balance, and you will always be a mother and a wisdom seat among us. And I hope that I never get too wise or too think I get too big as a mentor where I cannot have you put me across your knees and says you need to be corrected. But I always want to be at that place. But equally, it's a testament to you as an elder that you find it comfortable to embrace the leadership of a young man. So I don't take that for granted. I count that as a privilege to have elders from Africa, the continent, who respect equally the opportunity to sit under young men or young women and grow. I think one of the great lackings from our society in the African culture, more so than in the West, is the respect that the youth have for their elders, allow the elders to behave inappropriately, and the youth find it difficult to rebuke or correct them. And I think that that needs to change. It needs to change in light of if an elder is found in error, it must be in a place where the young person cannot be intimidated to a point where he cannot say, "Sir, I want to correct you on a point of order, but your behavior or your attitude or your character at this moment being displayed is inappropriate." I think that in the class of Steve, I would like the honor of raising a generation of youth who will know how to professionally and respectfully and honorably correct our leaders when they see our leaders going wrong, because leaders don't know everything, unfortunately. So, Dr. Comfort, I salute you as well in the class of Steel as one of our elders, and I honor you always. And I hope that any person who comes in the class of Steel that meets up with any of our elders, if they don't have patience and I see them annoyed and displaying frustration when our elders are trying to present themselves, I promise you they're the ones that will be kicked out of the class, because I have a very strong respect for my elders. And I think that's one of the reasons why, to some degree, I have a level of success. Go ahead, Grandmaster. I see you jumping in there.
No, I was just being silly, Your Excellency, and say if you have an issue with any of those young people, by any all means, send them to me. Send them to me.
Let's hear Dr. Is it Mabio, Fafelo Mabio? Could you kindly lend your voice to the discussion this evening in our wrapping up? Are you able to unmute yourself, sir?
Yes, I am.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for being patient with us and sitting in our class, and just share your thoughts on, what is in your heart and what you've gathered thus far.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you and everyone else for allowing me to be here. I think this is a very insightful class, and It's really changed my perspective in terms of what the new year can bring and what I can bring to the new year as well. In terms of what I kind of have on my mind, uh, really this class I feel has said enough and has really motivated me to go into the new year with a new mindset. So I just like to say I'm grateful for that and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for being here with us. And I will not press you as you're a new member. In the old me was hard on new members because we get them talking and sharing. But I've learned to respect the protocol that we don't know who our new members are sometimes. And we allow them the space to grow in the class. So you're very welcome to stay connected with me and Grandmaster or Ambassador Doreen or COO Dr. Comfort, and we would be pleased to build a stronger tie with you in the Class of Steele if you're so inclined to be a part of us during the new year and beyond.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
Well done. Grandmaster, I saw your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You were so gracious in providing him an out and comfort uh, in the meeting space, and I definitely appreciate it. But from time to time, I have to do this because our young people are important. We always say young people are the future, but I don't adhere to that more than I adhere to young people are not the future, they're the here and now, because they have issues and situations and circumstances that us as elders can't afford to put off till tomorrow. I'll listen to it tomorrow. They need answers and solutions today. So with that being said, this young man has come across as one of the leaders in my class, everybody. He's one of the senior students in my Chinese martial arts program here in Botswana. And he is an amazing individual in terms of community, in terms of academics, and of course, in terms of his martial skill set. Long story short, if you can see this on my phone, everybody, it kind of has a glare on it just a bit. Let me see if I can turn it to the side.
Open casting call.
Yeah, this is an open casting call for Sony Pictures for The Karate Kid 2, starring Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, the original cast member from the original Karate Kid. We're looking for the next Karate Kid. The character is called Li Fong, looking for an actor to portray Chinese, a mixed race Chinese, and between 15 and 17 years old. Speaks fluent English, conversational Mandarin is a strong plus. He's smart, scrappy, and a skilled martial artist. Any sort of martial arts, movement, gymnastics, and or dance experience is a strong plus. The availability of this position will be next year, March through June 2024, when they actually begin the shooting. This young man, unknown to me, decided to take it upon himself and audition for this particular part in this movie. I'm proud of him. He's done an amazing job with his audition film. His audition tape was actually sent through to the powers that be at Sony. In addition to that, I used just a few of my connections, professional connections, to make sure that it got into the right hands, not necessarily skipping the queue, but making sure that it was noticed for him. And we wish him the best on this. We're still waiting now on just a call back from Sony Pictures on that. So that's something that, again, I'm very proud of him doing, and it definitely will highlight the African continent's talent. Oftentimes, again, going back to the objectives and missions of the Class of Steele and the Class of Steele youth, to be able to bring information from outside the continent onto the continent. Also, the reverse of that is to be able to bring the talented young people that we have here across the board in all industries and all fields, whether it's technology, whether it's fine arts, whether it's music, whether it's gymnastics, sports, academics, scientific, medical, whatever the case may be, bringing that talent from the continent into mainstream world to make sure that they have the same equal opportunity as everyone else has. So that's definitely important, and that's part of our mission here in Botswana.
Well, thank you so very much. And I want to personally, Grandmaster, you know that we have a lot of high profile friends in the martial arts community. And what I would like to do is personally endorse him getting such an opportunity. So I'll call on those grandmasters who are they watch the Class of Steele, and you're part of my network as well. And I want you to give this young man consideration and give him an opportunity. If trained, of course, being trained under Grandmaster Scott, he is definitely prepared. I like his humility, his opportunity, and I believe that he would be a potential great asset to the world at large in light of doing martial arts. So give this young man a chance. Put it on my tab, Ambassador Michael Steele. Give him an opportunity to showcase. And even if he doesn't have, based on the dynamics, that starring role, at least grant him an opportunity and the privilege of being a part of the cast so that he would get some level of a debut. So again, I endorse him and I wish him well in his endeavors. And what I will do, Grandmaster, is I'll make a couple of calls. You and I will talk, and I'll make a couple of calls for him and see how we can add value to his push. What of Ethel? What of Ethel, if I might genuinely ask? I haven't heard about Ethel for a while. How is she progressing?
Yes, sir. I actually had spoken. Thank you for asking about her. I've actually spoken to her earlier this week. Unfortunately, as many of you may have known or didn't know, Ethel had some health issues that she definitely had to attend to that kind of took her out of the loop, not only with her academics at school as she was attending the University of Botswana here, but also took her away for a time from training in Kung Fu. But she's still hanging in there, still doing what she needs to do. She's looking forward to a return to our Kun on next year. She has a couple of medical appointments that she'll be attending to in February in South Africa, our neighboring country just south of us, for second opinions and follow-ups regarding her medical condition. It's not anything serious, fortunately, but it is of concern, and that's why it's taken her out of the loop for just a while. But I'll definitely make sure I'll give her the love from the Class of Steele, from you, Your Excellency, from all of the excellencies here, because she's sorely missed here in this forum, in this platform, and definitely in our Kun, as we affectionately call her, the First Lady of Wushu here in Botswana.
All right, definitely. I will try to see if I could follow that up with a call and see if I can get a chat with her as well. Thanks for letting us know. Well, guys, in closing, Dr. Sade James, do you have any last statements before I wrap up with my final points this evening, Dr. Sade James? Your Lord Sheldon didn't pull you from us in South Africa this evening, which is a good thing.
Unmute. We've had a bit of a break from load shedding, so we're very blessed over the festive season. No, I don't have any final points. I'm just very excited, obviously, to be committed to the Class of Steele for 2024. I think there's some strong highlighted points that you have outlined of what we should be leaving behind in 2023. And I think that yeah, I think it's a good thing that we should bury and cut off some stuff that's not serving us and our greatness that will propel us to greatness. And I look forward to doing that. So God bless you all. It's been an honor hearing everybody's truth. Ambassador Doreen, your talk on the unknown is amazing. Absolutely amazing, very inspiring. Grandmaster, I've been reading through your comments as well in the chat box. Amazing. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Dr. James. So I'm going to close with these points. And on the 6th of January, we're going to have our first class official on the 6th of January will be the official first class of Steele for 2024. And we are going to have classes every Saturday at the same time, 5 p.m. London time. I just want you guys to be aware it's London time. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to keep the classes within 2 hours, only 2 hours. We're going to have 1 hour of presentation, of speaking, expressing the concept or the teaching for the evening. And then after that, we will have open discussion about what are the points that come out, what sticks out to all of us in the class. It will be strictly mentoring, and I want you to come with your notes because we're going to take it extremely serious. I want you to remain committed and focused so that as we go through the year, I want for you to say, for the whole year, I have committed 2 hours. It's kind of like a gym training or mentorship training. I've committed 2 hours on a Saturday for personal development and mentoring from somebody who's going to be unbiased, who's going to just be in an environment where tell it like it is. Some persons, if you would have listened to any of our broadcasts in the earlier times, you would hear me speaking like this. I would remember the times that I used to speak very passionately and loud. I was a very loud and vocal first timer. I came from the Pentecostal preaching mindset, but you would gather that I have since then calmed down and also approach messages from a perspective of recognizing we're going to be doing this every week for the rest of the year. So we're going to have part 1, part 2, part 3, if it is necessary for more time for a particular subject. But I want to assure you, your time in the Class of Steele in 2024 will not be wasted. I equally want to say that I don't think I'm going to be bringing a whole lot of other speakers or other people. Really, I want to work with those that we have in the Class of Steele, the expertise in giving individuals the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to excel, the opportunity to develop what they have learned thus far, and the opportunity to share from their own personal experiences in Africa and globally. So those are some things that are going to happen in the new year. I'm going to be a stickler for time. I would not want to start the class late at any given point in time. Class would start at the latest at 1/4 the hour, at the latest. At the latest meaning that what we would do is when others come and get in logged in, some days you might have bad weather or anything like that. But ultimately, the class would officially start on the buzzer at 5 p.m. I'll be in class at 5 p.m. I'm always early. With that being said, I want to admonish you as the next day or two go, close the chapter tomorrow. Make sure you close off on those things. Think about it. Don't try to match up yourself to anybody else. Don't try to reach anybody else's standard. Set your own boundaries, your own standards, your own parameters. Some of you might be able to commit every Saturday. Some of you might be able to commit 2 Saturdays. Some of you might be able to commit 3 Saturdays. But whatever commitment you make, I want to challenge you to stick to it. I want to challenge you to be committed and position yourself wisely always. I want to challenge you to dress appropriately, show up ready. I tell individuals that anytime I show up anywhere, people say, you're always dressed up. I'm not always dressed up, but I'm always prepared that when individuals see me, I set a standard. And I set a standard with my appearance, how I carry myself. It's a standard. I want you to be mindful of that standard personally. I also want you to be mindful of your presentation. If you're going to speak and you're going to do something in the Class of Steele, I want you to prepare for it. Take notes. A lot of you see me here sat where Doreen was speaking, and while she was speaking, I was taking notes. Why was I taking notes? Because every person that is sharing in the Class of Steele is valuable. You're having the privilege of hearing from their experience, from their challenges, their difficulties, their victories. Take notes because they will serve you well. And for those of you who are going to be joining with us, I am a bishop. I'm a Pentecostal bishop without apologies. I'm a born-again believer in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. However, I do not promote and elevate and create an environment of religion in the Class of Steele. The Class of Steele is not a religious group. Class of Steele is not a Christian group. Because it is led by a Christian bishop or as a leader, we have Christians amongst us and ministers. The Class of Steele is a humanitarian group. We focus on human, whoever you are. Whatever your religion, I have no qualms or no issues with any person's religion. This is not a battlefield. Class of Steele is not a political group. We are not left, center, right, or anything like that. Whoever you are, wherever you're found politically, the Class of Steele welcomes you. The Class of Steele is also a family. We are not based on anything other than humanity. Please keep your sexual opinions. If you have opinions on sexuality, keep them to yourself. Don't let them be vocal in the Class of Steele to dishonor any member. Please keep your religious opinions to yourself. Your worship and your relationship with your creator, whomever you choose to call your creator, it's sacred and it is honorable and it is respectable. Please do not think that you're going to be on a platform to discredit any person's religious affiliation. Please don't. Equally, we want to be mindful of people's country or locations that they're from. We do not discriminate against persons' country. You know, people that have issues with other people from other countries, we do not. We do not discriminate against people's color, the color of people's skin. I think it is needful for us to close the Class of Steele's year with burying some things that are very important. If you want to be a part of a global economy or global community, all of these are things you have to learn how to embrace. We do not tolerate any level of racism whatsoever. I also want to say we do not open in prayer, not because I don't believe in prayer. We don't open in prayer because then you would want to have a Muslim saying his prayer, a Christian saying their prayer, and a Buddhist saying their prayer, a Taoist saying their prayer. So what I think is best is that when you come to the class, you come prepared to learn and to grow and to develop, but also to share your knowledge and your expertise with others that they too can glean from your wisdom. Class of Steele is not free. I'm going to explain what I mean when I say the Class of Steele is not free. It is not free because it costs me. It costs me time, preparation, costs all of us that are in leadership our time and our preparation. And because we don't have a fee that is being paid out or saying you have to pay this up front for classes, please don't be shy if you think you would like to make some form of donation or contribution to the efforts. I will not ask you for it. I will not be promoting and making it a big deal because it's not my nature. But I hope that within the context of your own personal stewardship of your time and your resources, you would consider a gift at some time to help with the costs that are associated with the broadcasting and the keeping of the Class of Steele going. It's up to you. There's no pressure. The Class of Steele is not based on your wealth or your poverty. I remember when Doreen came into the class and Doreen's English, Doreen, I'm proud of your English, as a matter of fact. I remember you had challenges with even sometimes the words and your boldness. But all of these are things that we will work on. The reason why it's called the Class of Steele Youth, and Dr. Comfort is among the youth, is because you're as young as you think you are. And Mommy Comfort is one of our youngest in the class. I can assure you, some of you, if you get to know how much work she does and how busy she is, you will think you are old and she is young. So please do not think the word youth means that it's for young people of a set age. No, it does not. It just means for those who are still ready and able to reach higher and aspire to greater things, but also want to create an environment where you're able to give back something to society. And on a final point, my expectation of all of you in the Class of Steele is that you will prosper, you'll be successful. I'm not doing this because I want poor people, broke, struggling, busted, disgusted, can't be trusted people around me. I'm doing this because I believe that everybody has the potential to raise their level of earning, their level of giving back, their level of being relevant in government, in your nation, somewhere you're going to become very relevant in the Class of Steele. And that's why you're here. And then on a very final note, you're here to make friends. Please remember, a lot of times you see us when class is finished and people are still talking. It's because they're friends. We have become friends over the years, and all of us here are very close. So when you get in the class, you're going to start to show your cameras. You're going to start to let people see your face, your expressions. And some of you might see people with their children running across. And we say, "Hi, Uncle Mike," because we're family. And as much as I'm a mentor and I have protocols and I'm very strict, I also respect family. And I also respect technology has its limitations and it's not always going to work perfectly. With that being said, I want to thank you so very much for being a part of the Class of Steele family. I want to thank all of those who watch over me as a mentor and keep me going the right direction. And for all of you, I want to wish you a wonderful and a successful 2024. And I will assure you that if you are part of the Class of Steele family in 2024, you are going to be very successful. And in the midst of the chaos that might surround the rest of the globe, you will still be making an impact and you will still be showing up in places and having others say, "My goodness, why is it that you're able to do this?" And the reason I hope will be because you are a part of the Class of Steele family. I'm His Excellency Dr. Michael Steele on the behalf of First Lady Jeannie Steele and all of the governing body for the Class of Steele, our sponsors, our friends, and our teams outside of us that you don't see. Thank you so very much for a wonderful, productive 2023. And we look forward to an even greater productive 2024 and beyond. God bless you.
God bless you too, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
That felt like a speech.
God, so for pouring into our lives.
Thank you so much. You know, we go a long way back. We've done a great many things, and we'll continue to do a great many things together. And I thank you for your wow. I just get overwhelmed sometimes, man. as vocal and as well versed as I'd like to believe I am, sometimes some things I'm just lost for words in amazement and the richness of what God has put into my life through you. And I thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Shao Koi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
That's his given name in the school. Uh, how what do you think about the class now that we're still here conversing? You can feel free to share anything you'd like to see or discuss going forward into 2024. I'm sure these things will be taken into consideration. What is something from a young person's perspective that would help you? Because I know you're at that age now where you're going through A levels, looking to apply for scholarships at various universities throughout the globe. What is something that you feel can help those in your age group um, um, in the challenge of not only seeking universities but just preparing yourself for adulthood?
I'll try to keep this. I'll try not to hold anybody for too long because I do have to go and do chores. It's that time of the night.
Will do.
I think if there is one thing that I do feel would be beneficial to the majority of the students that I know and that I've interacted with, it is definitely teaching them how to learn. And I think that is a detriment to our school systems because many students struggle not because they are not capable, but because they simply don't know how to take in the content or they were never taught. So I really feel like if there were a way to give students better learning habits or teach them to engage with material in a different way, it would make a lot more students pass and it would make life a lot easier for students. And yeah, that's the biggest issue I can think of right now.
You know, I want to respond to that. And it's very, very interesting that you brought that point up. And here's the answer to it. That's why the class of steel exists. And the reason why I say that is because if you continue to grow with us and you tell us what your needs are, then we're able to meet those needs in the class. That's why it's interactive. We want to hear you. And I form my next message from what I hear, the conversations that are had at the discussion times. That's how we formulate a lot of our messages. So I think that that particular need is one that is definitely going to be focused on how to learn, because I equally had to learn how to learn. And that's a very, very good point that I can kind of bring to the table in 2024. And for you who are doing exams and training, etc., I will make it a point to help you guys in that particular area as well. But remember, the interesting thing is that the same thing that applies to a university student, interestingly, applies to a businessman, applies to an entrepreneur, applies to an employee. The same principles that you're going to need to develop to be able to be successful are the same principles and tools that are necessary for being able to succeed in any given area of life experiences or skill set. So thank you so very much for that point. I will make sure that I make that a part of our curriculum. Ambassador Doreen and Grandmaster and Bishop Comfort, we will make sure that we put things in place to help you guys to understand that. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my brother, I know you got to run and go do chores. I don't Mama Mabeo to beat me in.
All right. Well, Dr.
We'll see you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for having me. It was a pleasure and an honor to be here. I think I'll have to go now.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Well, class is finished and we are good to go. I guess you all don't want to leave because I don't know I don't know what it is. And by the way, tomorrow we're closing off the group. There's an IO group that we have. I think we have 30 something persons, almost 40 persons that have already signed up, and we're closing it off tomorrow. Midnight tomorrow is going to be turned off, and there will be a cost for joining. And I'm going to deliberately make the cost very high. And the reason is because I just want to, if you're going to come in, it's not going to be easy for you to get in. So if you have not already signed up, please do, because after tomorrow, it's going to be challenging and difficult to get in. With that being said, again, that's it. I think that's it. If you have anybody that you want them to join, go tell them go and do it tonight. Because if you don't do it tonight, then you're not going to be able to come to any of the Class of Steele. You're not going to be able to come to any of the meetings. You will not. Please be mindful.
Dr. Steele and people, just before we leave briefly, I'm a security mother hen. So I just want to say, whatever you do or wherever you go tomorrow, while the world is in the midst of flipping the new calendar year, please be safe. Please err on the side of caution. If you don't need to be out and about, please stay home. If you do, for some reason or other, find yourself at a pre-scheduled event or meeting, make sure you know the precautions. Make sure you tell people where you're going. Tell them when you're leaving. Always watch your six, as we say in security in the military, and just use common sense to be safe. Because I want to see all of your bright, shining faces on the other side. All right, y'all have a good night. We'll speak again. Bye bye for now.
Good night, Grandmaster. Doreen, good night, Ruth.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Grandmaster.
Bye-bye, everybody.
See you next year, God willing.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year all. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Please stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
Keep away from trouble. Happy
Everybody.
New Year. Good night.
Don't give people you don't know legs, please.
Good night, and God.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
No matter what is going on. No matter